My brother, his classmate, her parents filed a lawsuit against him. I'm his sister, the older one, the kind who's been closing doors behind him his whole life after he slams them shut. So when I got the call and heard that my brother was being sued, I didn't even ask why. I asked how bad. Because when it's him, it's always bad. Or at least, that's what I believed back then. He's a student. Quiet. Always stuck in his own head. The type who doesn't argue, doesn't push, doesn't take up space. And somehow, it's always guys like that who end up being blamed when grown adults decide to play victims. A classmate, an adult woman, not a kid, not a minor. University halls, cheap coffee, boring lectures, normal life. And then, a lawsuit. Paperwork. Language so dramatic you'd think he robbed a church instead of sleeping with another adult. I read it and felt the anger rising. At him. Because it's easy to be angry at your own. Because it's familiar. I already saw the whole scene. Me in court, apologizing for his silence, burning with secondhand shame. Him sitting there with his eyes down, like he always does when older people start pressing in. And in that moment, I hated him. Not for what he did, but for being weak. For making me be loud again instead of him. When I asked him straight up, "Are you actually that stupid?" He didn't even flinch. Just said, "I'm not going to apologize for something that was consensual." And that's when something clicked. Because guilty people don't talk like that. After that conversation, the apartment went quiet. Not calm, heavy. The kind of silence that presses on your ears. I was used to him joking things away, dodging questions, agreeing just to make it stop. But this time, no. He dropped one sentence and shut down, like he'd put a period at the end and handed me the rest. I started digging. Not because I trusted him, because blind disbelief is also my habit. I remembered the classmate. I'd seen her a couple of times at shared hangouts. Put together. Calm. Direct gaze. Not someone you can easily pressure. Not someone who looks lost or manipulable. And definitely not someone whose parents should be running to court like the house is on fire. But the parents ran. Hard. They didn't call, didn't text, didn't try to talk. They went straight to official mode. Paperwork, lawyers, language that makes you want to scream. Her voice wasn't there at all. Only theirs. Only, we believe, we are certain, our daughter. Like she wasn't a person, just a disputed object. That wasn't even what pissed me off the most. What pissed me off was that my brother was still silent. "Why did you even get involved with her?" I asked. He shrugged. "Because she wanted to. And I wanted to." Simple. No excuses. No attempt to look better than he was. And somehow that made me even angrier. Because if he wasn't lying, then this whole story stopped being about an idiot brother and started being about something much dirtier. The trial was set for a week later. I thought I'd be furious, stressed, pacing helplessly. But when we walked into the courtroom, I felt something else. The absurdity of it all. The classmates' parents sat there with faces like they were saving the world from disaster. And him? He just sat. Quiet. Staring at the walls. No defenders. No excuses. Nothing. And that, again, pissed me off. The lawyers started reading their papers, one after another, every word treated like it mattered more than human logic. Moral damage, reputation undermined, unacceptable influence on the future. I scoffed in my head, like she wasn't an adult woman, but some project he had broken. I wanted to jump up, scream, "She agreed! She's an adult! What are you doing?" But I held back. My role now: observe, note, silently comment. At first it hurt. Then, it got funny. Because watching grown-ups legally try to punish another adult for their own choices is a circus. And I was the only one who realized my brother wasn't an idiot at all. And I also realized that he knows how to be silent in a way that makes his words a weapon. Not mine, not the parents', but his. And the less he speaks, the more pressure falls on everyone else. And in that strange state, I started noticing details. How she looked at her parents, how they carefully chose each word, how the lawyer winked at the judge, trying to add drama. And I realized one thing. This isn't about my brother. It's about who controls the situation, and who plays the victim for power. The trial was just starting, and I already wanted to fucking tear this whole shit show apart. The classmates' parents launched into their speech, eyes blazing like they were saving humanity from my brother. My fists clench. Inside, everything's boiling. "This young man exerted a moral corruption on our daughter," the mom screamed, voice like a chainsaw. "Are you serious?" I hear the judge, barely holding back irritation. My brother sits there, quiet as a mouse. And I think, oh fuck, if he started talking, I'd probably cry and smash this whole shit to pieces. The lawyer continues. "His actions caused moral damage to our family." I'm laughing inside. She's an adult. She agreed. Are they living in another fucking reality? Listen, I tell myself. I know you want to see my brother as an idiot, but the fact is, you chose to enter this circus instead of talking to an adult. The mother acts like she can't hear me. The father clenches his fists so tight I know the next mod argument is about to fly, and it all looks like a farce, everyone thinking they control the situation. But really, they're just blowing hot air. My brother smirks slightly, quietly, and that smirk, it's like salt in the wound, because I realize he's not touched by this circus at all. He knows all this shit is their F-up, not ours. And then it hit full speed. The judge asks my brother directly, "Do you understand that a lawsuit has been filed against you?" He shrugs slightly. "I understand." Silence fills the room, like the air itself has thickened. My skin crawls. The classmate's parents flush red. The lawyer tries to sound serious, but it's failing miserably. "Do you admit guilt?" the judge asks again. My brother slowly lifts his gaze, and I see it. No panic, no fear, just that damn calm arrogance that annoys more than any shout ever could. "No." Short. It was mutual. At that moment, I feel like the whole room explodes. Not loud, but everyone gets it. Their whole case just went to hell. The parents flinch, the lawyer loses track, the judge frowns. And my brother just sits there like he said the most ordinary thing in the world, when really, it's a total gut punch to all their moral rules. I almost laugh, but I hold it in. All these years I thought he was an idiot, mindless, and now he just proved he can stand quietly and flip the entire game with one sentence. And I realize, I'm looking at him, and for the first time I see not a brother who messes up, but someone who knows how to control the situation with silence. And in that moment, I start to feel a thrill. Yes, a thrill watching their faces turn red, seeing their plan collapse. That was the final blow, I think. They didn't expect an adult to say no and actually mean it. "So you're claiming that everything happened with mutual consent?" The judge's exhaustion is clear. "Yes," my brother answers. "She wanted it, I wanted it, that's it, and that's it." The room jolts, like someone yanked a cord. The classmates' parents freeze. The lawyer starts flapping, like a cockroach under a spotlight. I stand there thinking, you actually brought this to court over the personal choice of two adults? The mother glares like she wants to burn him with her eyes. The father clenches his fists, as if raw force could rewrite reality. And my brother just sits there, calm. No excuses, no begging, nothing. And that pisses them off more than anything. I feel a strange thrill. Every single argument they try collapses before it even lands. They came to press down, and they hit silence. Then I notice her. She's standing behind her parents. Quiet. But the corner of her mouth lifts slightly. Not a smile. A signal. Small, but precise. And in that moment, it hits me. All this time, I thought my brother was guilty. But the real fools are the people who thought they could control someone else's life through a courtroom. And now their perfect order is starting to crack. And then she says it. A small voice that rips through the room. It was mutual. Silence. Complete. Like the air got stuck in everyone's throat. The parents nearly fall off their chairs. The lawyer starts flipping through papers like a maniac. The judge furrows his brow like he's trying to decide if he can even keep breathing. I stand there and realize this whole story isn't about my brother or her parents. It's about people who want to control someone else's life and get hit with the full force of their own asshole energy. My brother smirks quietly, calm. He doesn't say a word, but that sentence, it's like a fucking nightmare for their plans. I finally see he's not an idiot. He just let the situation play out itself. She gives a tiny smirk behind her parents. A small victory. A little middle finger. And I get it. All these lawsuits, all the papers, all their pomp. Just garbage that falls flat when reality hits. And I feel the schadenfreude. That thrill of knowing you watched them build their perfect drama and it crumbled with a single word. There it is, I think. Fucking chaos complete. But we won. The parents lost it. Total meltdown. Mom jerks like she's been electrocuted. Dad clenches his fists so hard his nails dig into his palms. The lawyer stands there like an idiot, trying to figure out where all their grand strategy went. "This is impossible," the mom screams. "She told us that." "She's an adult," the judge interrupts cold, "and can speak for herself." The room seems to shrink. I stand next to him, quietly laughing, because I get it. Their entire so-called greatness is crumbling, and they brought it on themselves. Every argument, empty noise. All the moral horror, all the morale damage, it just falls into nothing when reality hits. My brother sits calm. No fear, no excuses. Just silence and a smile. Small, quiet, like a shock to the system. It says more than words ever could. I glance at the classmate. She smirks slightly. Zero fear. Just a challenge. And at that moment, I realize their control was destroyed with a single word. One word. And I feel the thrill. Not from my brother winning, but from seeing people who tried to manipulate and control get hit full force. Total fucking chaos, I think. And let them know. No one replaces adults' own choices with their control. The parents nearly turned gray on the spot. Dad red as a tomato, eyes like saucers, Mom twitching like she's been shocked. The lawyer scrambles through papers, but already knows. Their whole strategy just fucked up. The judge closes the folder and says, "Case dismissed. No grounds." And that's it. Pomp, threats, moral hysteria, bam, on the floor. The parents stand there, idiots, trying to mumble something, but no words come out. They thought they could control the situation, and instead, they got hit full force. I look at my brother. Silence, a smirk, complete calm. He didn't speak, didn't apologize, and it crushed them harder than any yelling could. The classmate smirked slightly behind her parents. Small revenge, tiny but precise. And I realize they thought they could intimidate adults through a court, but everything collapsed with a single word. I stand there, feeling both schadenfreude and thrill. All these years I thought my brother was an idiot, and now he just let everything fall apart naturally, and their pompous drama blew up in their own faces. There it is, I think. Fucking chaos complete. But we won. And now it's over. The judge has left, the lawyer dragged the parents out of the room, muttering, red-faced, shaking. We stand next to my brother, and for the first time I see him real. Calm, no one pressing, no one controlling. I realize, this whole circus, all their attempts to manipulate, all that fucked up nonsense, collapsed. They thought they could replace adults with their rules, and we just let reality speak for itself. The classmate nods at my brother. No pride, no dramatics, just a tiny signal. We're equal. And I feel it. Tiny victory. They thought they could treat us like idiots, and now we're laughing at their plans. I look at my brother. He smirks quietly. Calm, and I realize he's not an idiot. He just let it all fall apart, and that's his power. I feel my voice returning. The right to be too much. The right to laugh at someone else's arrogance. The right to be chaotic, alive, loud. He thought he could replace me quietly, I think. But we made sure we can never be forgotten. And this moment, ficking chaos complete, but we're on top. Everything collapses around us, and we stand there, laughing, free.